YouTube, this is Sandra Ree, Phoenix Productions. So recently on YouTube I saw this video about the science of happiness and gratitude, and so I thought, geez, that's pretty cool actually. And it made me think that there really is a lot of people in my life that I'm grateful for, and yet I just don't tell them on a regular basis that I really am grateful, even though I probably should be. But hopefully in the back of their mind somewhere they already realize and know that I am very grateful. The fuck, these glasses are so dirty. So the series that I'm about to start is going to be me expressing how grateful I am to certain people in my life. And today I'm going to start out with my mom, who lives right there. That's her room over there. She is almost 70. She's been a nurse her whole life. 70. She'll be 70 next week. And I owe a lot to her. And I just don't tell her as much that I'm grateful for her. So I'm going to be starting out with her in a few minutes. I'm adopted, so I have two moms. I'm very blessed to have two moms. And unfortunately, because my other mom lives 5 hours away, just gonna have to wait to get to her. But anyways, Jenny, I love you. Don't feel excluded, because you will have your turn as well. So I'm getting to everybody. But yeah, so we're gonna go start off with my mom. Hopefully it's a good reaction and then I don't embarrass her too much. Already embarrassing myself, so who cares. But yeah, hopefully she likes it, and we'll see. My mother, Nancy Jo, is one of the most important and influential people in my life. I have so much to be thankful to her for. She took my brother and me in when she didn't have to. She fed us, clothed us, educated us, and raised us in a loving and warm home. She has always put others before herself, and even long before I was in the picture. She has sacrificed a lot to make sure that I live a happy, successful, and fulfilling life. She has always been one of the first people to my side when I am in need. Every time that I have been in trouble or had some sort of disaster in my life, she has been there to carry me. Even to this day, when we are having problems in our own home, i.e. not enough money to pay the bills, the house is a mess, and we are all stressed out to the max, we still stick by each other's side. Especially now with all the problems we are encountering, I have to remind myself that I am very blessed to have a mother like her. It disappoints me that I don't and couldn't possibly thank her enough for all that she has done for me and all that she means to me. But hopefully she knows that I love her with all my heart and that I am so grateful that she is my mother.
Oh, sweetheart. I am so glad that you're my daughter. You have no idea how you fulfill me. Both you kids make my life. I mean, you're the two that I live for. That's except for the week, the church. But no, honey, oh my gosh, that's not sacrifice. No, that's love. I loved you too before you even popped your little noses out, and I will love you my whole life through, which hopefully will go past my 70th birthday, which is coming awfully soon here. But no, you are the best thing that ever happened to me, and so is Justin. Before we ever adopted you kids, it was a difficult decision because we were so old. And I didn't think we could do an adequate job because of our age. We couldn't go running and playing ball. We couldn't, there were so many things that we just couldn't do. And the social worker said, They don't need to be chasing balls and things like that. They need love and stability. And I hope that you got some of that and that you felt the love that I have for both of you. I could kill you sometimes, both of you, but hate and love
What
are
can I
very
say?
hate and love are very close.
I'm your daughter. I'm supposed to keep you on your toes.
But no, I think our family is a very blessed family because we all love each other very much. And the memories. The memories. And we keep making more of them. And now with little Lam around, we have even more of these beautiful memories. And I wouldn't have changed that decision for the world. It was something that I prayed about harder than I prayed about anything in my life because I didn't want to screw the two of you up. I did. In a lot of ways, but every parent has those things that they regret or think later, yeah, I wish I'd have done this or done that. But we had people say to us, are you crazy? You know, why would you do something like that? Clergy. And being married to a clergyman, their opinion didn't matter any more to me than Joe Blow's. But I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I would not. What is there to live for if you're not living for somebody else? If you're not giving and caring for somebody else? What's the point? That's what we're here for, is to serve one another. We have a mess of a house right now. Well, Mom took off last week, kind of.
Well, Sarah just taken off this whole week, pretty much. So we're even.
But you, that was the part of last week that I tried to explain that was important to me. It was more what I was getting than what I was giving. And besides, I could sleep at night because I just passed out. And life is like, that's why I became a nurse, was to care for other people. And I got a letter from Uncle Jim, 2 letters from Uncle Jim yesterday that I had written him in 1959. And they're funny, but in 59 I would have been, what would I have been?
Like 16? No.
15?
You'd have been, see, 43 to 53 is 10. So you'd have been 16.
16, yeah. The funny thing was, I was a caretaker back then, a little busybody. My uncle Fritz had come to visit and put $10 in my pocket and said he knew my mom and dad were having a tough time and they were going to be doing something for their anniversary. And he put $10 in my pocket, which at that time was a lot of money, and said, now when Jim gets home, you kids go out and have a good time. And so I wrote Uncle Jim and I said, Uncle Fritz gave me this $10, and what do you think about getting Mom and Dad an anniversary present rather than blowing it on something? And I said, I think we can afford, TV tables, and they really like that. And the next letter was very similar. It was another caretaking. Oh, Mom and Dad's anniversary was coming up again, and it was what to do about it. And we ended up making them the worst dinner that they'd ever had in their lives. And my dad suggested that it was very nice, but maybe we'd go down the street to Walker Brothers, which was like McDonald's, and we were all pleased. And got up and left our hard minute meal sitting there staring at us. It was terrible. Oh, it was awful. But we had good intentions. But I got that from my parents, who gave to us abundantly. You know, not things. We didn't have things. They gave us. I mean, we were brushing our teeth with our finger and salt and soda. I mean, it goes to show about how rich we were. And but I never had a time when I couldn't sit down and talk to one or the other of them, or they didn't hug me, or I'd sit on my dad's lap and he would tell me how precious I was to him. And Mom, when she wasn't yelling at me for something I had done wrong, because she was a disciplinarian, she showed her love in so many ways. But Dad he worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, so he wasn't there much for the discipline part of it. But if I did do something in his sight that was wrong,
It's the wait till your dad gets home moment that every child fears.
Mom never said that. Wait till your dad gets home. She always took care of it on the spot. But one day I drove a car without a license and didn't know how to drive either. And it was a stick shift. I mean, it was in Chicago. I mean, you know, you lay one thing on top of another. We were lucky we were alive. And I remember my dad saying how disappointed he was in me, and that hurt more than if he'd have beaten me up. And then one time I smarted off to my mom, and my dad was right there, and I got across the face, and he had never touched me. And he felt so badly about it. And I deserved more than a slap in the face. I had a friend with me, and I was being
Regular
snot.
teenage snot.
Oh, snot was the word. So, and then the time I wanted to see Elvis Presley down at the Stockyards in Chicago, and the Stockyards was an icky place, and Presley was new, but he wiggled his hips, and he was sexual. I mean, by that time, I hardly knew what sex was, because you didn't talk about things like that. And that was the day I ran upstairs to my bedroom and went to slam the door, and I looked over. My dad was coming up after me and taking his belt off, and he never hit me with anything except that one time. And he was a real thin man, and his pants started to fall. And I just broke up, you know, and went into my room, slammed the door. I mean, I had to finish the show, you know. Went in, slammed the door, sat in there and roared for a while. And then when I came out, my very dear Uncle Harry was down at the bottom of the stairs with a broom, playing this broom and wiggling his hips as I came downstairs. And I couldn't be upset, you know. I had already told them the lie that everybody's going. Everybody I know is going. Nobody went from our area, you know. It was dangerous, and parents scared. But those are some of the things I remember being a kid and getting into trouble where my parents were good at handling things like that without being nasty, rude, physical, you know. like I said, my dad was so terribly, my whole life I remember him apologizing for that over and over again. And he was such a gentle man. But some of those things, I think, when you're fortunate enough to be raised by two people who would do anything for you, literally, some of it passes through. And then my Uncle Fritz that I always talk about, you know, I had a great family. I just had a great extended family, and they were good people, and there were crazy ones in there too. But you know, the crazy ones were fun to make fun of. You know, that was a good part. But all of that was given to me, and I hope I passed on some of it to you guys. I'm sure I passed on the mistakes I made, I mean, that's for sure. But I made my own mistakes, actually. Sweet baby. He's 2 or something else, I think. I think being a parent is the hardest job in the world, the most fulfilling job in the world, and I can't imagine life without it. You know, I was not fortunate enough to be able to have children biologically, and maybe there was a reason for that.
'Cause now you got me.
That's right. I got stuck with you, and I got stuck with Justin. It's a good thing.
So this is my mom, my almost 70-year-old nurse mom, and I just read to her the little paragraph that I had written for her, and had a good talk with her, and hopefully she knows a little bit more how much appreciative I am, how grateful I am to have you as my mom. Couldn't possibly ask for a better one.
Couldn't ask for a better daughter.
You have no idea how much I love you. Did you have fun?
Neat. Now should I tell stories about you when you were little?
No, time to end this. It's over.